Nice. Is it working? Are we back? Hello?
Oh, yeah, we got it. That's good, I think.
Ah, my FPS is tanking. Oh no.
It's because you're streaming. Who would have thought?
I mean, I've been getting a horrible FPS recently. I don't know why. It's like usually where at places I would have 150, I have 90 now.
Yeah, you just need to download more RAM.
Yeah, it's gotta download RAM. Yeah.
And this is totally not me instantly uploading the routing to the MDSR YouTube right now. Totally not. I'm not on top of my game.
Yeah. All right. So
But hey, we're back. When should we do a start down thing and another introduction, or are we just so cool we're gonna keep going?
You could just say 3, 2, 1, start, and then you'll say welcome back. We're gonna start with runs, mute, take it away, or levels, mute, take it away.
Wow, you're so professional, Drake. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Mute, no pressure. 3, 2, 1.
ah!
Hello all. Oh, thank you, mute. Mute. We're going to be doing something today.
Oh, hi.
We are going to go through the first couple of levels, starting with Hell on Earth, and we're going to explain the 100% UN, specifically restricted category.
Yes, we are.
We'll also have notes for, like, if you want to run Classic on I'm Too Young to Die, or if you play on a more current patch where some of these strats aren't viable.
Oh, we're not gonna cover reload strats. Like reload strats is different beast. We're definitely not covering reload strats.
We might mention reload. How do I put it? I'm Too Young to Die in Classic strats, if we remember.
Yeah, no, I mean, if we were doing Classic, it'd be a different beast. Like, yeah, it'd be It'd be 7 hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
we're gonna start Hell on Earth for demonstration purposes. I'm going to be playing on I'm Too Young to Die, so I don't die.
Yeah. Just so that we can show you everything in its most detail. We also may be doing a bit of cheating so that we can show you areas more effectively and what you need to do.
Oh, I forgot to mention this during the routing part and my part. You have to watch this cutscene.
Yep, you have to.
You'll miss a codex. So remember, if you guys watch the routing and the rules section, you have to watch this cutscene. Otherwise, you won't get the Doomblade codex. I'm guessing mute, you're gonna skip this cutscene, but don't skip this cutscene if you're playing the game.
So right now I'm gonna skip the cutscene, as you can see here, I have nothing, no codexes. Usually right here I'm supposed to have the Doomblade codex, which if I were to create a new save file, delete this one, go on MTO. Did I almost went on Ultra Nightmare? And this time actually watch the cutscene.
How long does it take before you can skip the cutscene? 20 seconds?
Try like 10 maybe. It's not that bad. It's just yeah.
You have to hear Novik hyping you up.
Yep.
Every single time you reset.
Very hype.
I mean, only you can hear this. Everyone else can skip it, right?
And here, look, we have the Doomblade and the Combat Shotgun. This one, I don't know if you get, but mainly we're concerned about Doomblade. So let me see.
You want to kill these zombies as quickly as possible. As soon as you kill the third one, the next phase starts.
Well, my mage is doing a little bit of cheating. Alright, we're good. So get the chainsaw, come here, this is where the secret is. Do some bunny hops.
One thing to note here, at the highest level, like, nearly all those B hops are kind of planned out ahead of time in order to try to conserve your momentum.
So this box skip, it saves us having to go around and hit the box. It saves less time in this category because it's not as much of a detour to go back at the back of the box and punch it into place. But so we wouldn't recommend it for beginners, but if you want, you can learn it. It's kind of simple. You punch and then turn. You don't jump. You don't need to jump. Just punch once and then second jump afterwards.
If you can't do this, you could just come here, line up, and do this. Climb on here. That's fine too.
If you climb up on the wood, you have to jump after you climb up on the wood.
Mute. We are getting confirmation from chat that we are a bit too small. If you could turn up our volume, Drake and I. Just turn it up like, I don't know, like 50-ish%.
All right, you guys are large now.
Lot of games.
Yeah, if you want more complicated or not more complicated, more explained things, go to watch the restricted tutorial that Drake also has up. And yeah, this fight. How
This
do we
is
deal with this fight?
this barge is or this is the barge fight. This fight's rather random, but I like to call it like the most random, but also the hardest fight in the entire game, because if you miss a shot, it's quite a disaster. And Mute missed a shot there, and it's quite a disaster. He loses a little bit of time.
Yep.
But generally speaking, you want to use the combat shotgun as much as possible, and you want to preserve your stickies as much as possible and use them wisely. You want to count to 16, and then on the 15th demon that you kill, 17th will spawn, and then you can clean up and then move on.
By the
That's
door.
when you know.
It will always
Mute,
spawn in the same
Mute,
place.
Mute,
Yes.
this isn't a marathon run. Why are you going so fast, dude?
Oh, that's right.
There's so much
Anyways.
tech.
So you can actually reach that meatball, like we do in
Yeah.
any percent restricted, but it requires a lot of B-hops. They're not necessary anymore. Now we don't really need to do this fight that way, but yeah.
Yeah, one more thing to note on that barge fight. Usually you can tell if you're at the end when the imp spawns in by the exit door. When
Yes.
that imp spawns in, that means you have one other demon left.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
your
only
seven-
have that.
That's your
and one more.
17th demon. Now there is a chance sometimes that if you collateral like 4 demons, there are no demons alive, that imp will spawn anyway. The condition is that if there's one enemy alive on the field, that imp will spawn. Sometimes that means like it will spawn early. I've had a wild case where it spawned like 5 demons earlier.
Damn.
But that's extremely rare. But if that ever happens to you, that's why it happened, because the spawn condition is weird.
That's never happened to me before, actually. That's fun to know.
I have a clip of it somewhere.
So what Mute just did, basically, all the way up until this wall is just B-hop movement. Just jump your way over here. They did a quick little thing to skip a mantle animation, which saves like, what, a quarter of a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, just be off on these vans if you want. Come up here, jump up here. I have an input display. You can see exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, if you want to skip that mantle animation, just don't look at the ledge as you're jumping up.
And whenever you want to skip a mantle animation, just don't hold forward. The only way you can mantle is if you're holding forward. It is literally impossible to mantle if you're not holding forward. That's why Mute's holding, going sideways so that he can hold left without mantling.
Yep.
If you were to hold, so that's why he's doing that.
Okay.
You can carry on, Mute.
Yeah, carry on to the mods. We kind of just went over animation canceling for a little bit, but
yeah. Do we want to explain like some of these basics?
well, just swap
animation
mods there.
canceling.
Just
at
swap
least.
mods.
Just animation cancel there. If you're curious, just copy exactly what Mute's doing.
Basically, you can interrupt. You can interrupt the pickup animation by like doing another animation during it. There's a variety of ways to do it, but
Mute
one of
is
them is mod
doing
swapping.
a punch boost to skip this encounter.
Mm.
If the zombie coordinates. This plus barge fight, you'll reset more runs than probably anything else combined.
So we go into more detail on this punch boost in the restricted or any percent restricted route, but generally speaking, the ideal way to do it is to pray that the spider Rupert stays in the same position. But the spider Rupert does not always stay in the same position. If that's the case and Rupert runs away, you lure the zombie over, and if that doesn't happen, if the soldier runs up, you can also do something like this, which I think Mute messed up. But yeah, like you can just pray that sometimes the soldier flies up there, and then there you go. Here you can bunny hop off the bench, right?
Yes.
Do you go off the bench now?
I
or
do.
you
I
still
do.
just
Every
go-
single
okay.
time.
So the reason you want to do this is so that the doors over there on the left start opening, so you don't have to wait for them after you pick up the heavy cannon.
Yeah, the bench is just at an angle so that if you b-hop off it, you'll get a lot of momentum going towards the heavy cannon, which you want to pick up for our combat routing.
And also to complete the category. I don't think you
Well,
can...
if you miss the... Oh, yeah, that's true, because you can't pick up another mod.
Yeah.
Because you only have one weapon.
Here you can
I'd say
just
you
jump
could-
up here. Saves a mantle.
Yeah, you just let go forward as you reach the apex. You have to scroll jump this. For those of you who don't know, when you scroll on flat ground, it gives you a higher jump. If you're on console and you can't scroll, sorry. Ring the bell as it provides you with good luck, and then
Don't
just
ring
carry
the
on.
bell, as that's a sham.
Yeah, it is not.
There's some professional disagreement about the bell.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah, that's
move
very
on.
professional.
Follow the b-hop pattern Mute did. and weapon swap to pick up that animation. And you want to make sure to kill
Important
these
details.
3 imps here,
Very important.
and also 1 soldier.
So this fight this spider he's doing right here is actually part of a fight. You want to go back, and we can actually explain this little details here. So these soldiers that are so the spider and the 3 soldiers that are by the exit here, they're all part of a fight, but also the imps in the building that he specifically killed, those very specific ones that he killed that are coming up here, they're also strangely part of that fight. So you kill 1, 2, and then 3, and then 1 more of those soldiers / imp on the street, and then the spider, and the fight's done. In any percent, you'll notice that we kill these imp that spawns underneath the spider, that imp. But we don't need to in this category. We can just kill one of the soldiers because it's hard to tell which imp is which. So instead, we just do that. If you're lucky, the imp will, or the spider will be in a position where you can punch its turret. I don't think we need to go over the details of that. And now here he's doing a skip called budget skip. This skip saves 5 seconds. We have a tutorial on this skip specifically, if you want to learn it. But if you're a beginner, I wouldn't recommend it. It's a little challenging, and it only saves 5 seconds.
I don't use this skip, and I've been running for about 2 years, so no shame is what I'm saying.
I think I made the tutorial. It's linked somewhere. Probably we can put it in the description if we need to. But
In summary, just jump that box. After you grab the key card and go down here, no other demons are required, so you can just make your way down here.
Do you want to explain like how to do this subway safely? Because every time I do this in Nightmare or Ultra Nightmare, I just like die.
So what happens is when you're outside, the chances are you're gonna get hit. So when you're about right here, you're waiting for the door to move. You can move around here just to avoid shots, or you can be hit purposefully, which is what I do sometimes. Get your health down low, so that when you're down here, you shoot a sticky bomb, you get all your health back. You get 40 health back. So especially if you're on 30, you get 70 health, which is basically everything that you need to be hop through here safely. There's 2 zombies right there that are very free.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're just basically avoiding the shots from the walls. That's the main damage output. Like the demons, if you're doing this fast enough, aren't really hitting you. It's the things on the wall that you really want to avoid.
One thing to note, and I want to glance if you want a clean sewer section, a lot of the way to keep a lot of your speed going all the way to this mod bot is to bounce off the walls. So you would just hit a wall so that you gain a little bit of momentum to the side, so you can avoid all these things that would normally stop you, like these columns next to it. Like there's a lot of nuance actually to just bunny hopping down here.
Yeah, we won't go into too much detail. It's like,
but pay attention basically is what we're saying.
So here we pick up the precision bolt. I think one of the best upgrades in the entire game. It's baller.
I used to think micro missiles was faster. Fun fact.
Hot takes.
The Wild West days of Hundo. Oh, this fight is
So
let's just say almost as bad as Barge.
When you come in,
this fight's a bastard.
yeah, I'll demonstrate it first.
Yeah, so keep in mind that after you kill the Kako and those 2 imps, you get a bunch of waves of fodders, and once you kill all the fodder, soldier and an Arachnotron spawn in, and then typically there'll be 4 imps spawning in waves of 2. You want to kill the imps as soon as possible, and the Arachnotron while you're at it, because the imps only spawn when previous imps are killed. But the clear condition is everything dead, so you want to get that final wave spawned in as earlier, and then everything dead.
Yeah. Important detail here. This is one of those fights where movement is surprisingly important. The way he's moving is extremely precise. He doesn't have to pick up those shells that he just picked up, but the movement after that is very important. So what he's going to do is he's going to clear right after he kills a Kako, then he's going to clear straight ahead of him. There's a imp spawn on the lower center, and he's going to clear, and then he's going to start clearing left, center, and then left, or excuse me, right, center, and then left. And then he moves to pick up the fuel over here. Very important that you pick up the fuel. And then he starts clearing imps. And as soon as the spider spawns, he goes for the spider, very short period of time. He doesn't try and kill the spider. All he does is he breaks the turret and nades it. And the reason you want to do that is so that you're killing imps as quickly as possible, because the imps take like a long while to start spawning after you kill them. The way the imps work is that the fight starts with like 4 or 5, and then after you kill 4, more start to respawn. So basically, you want to get kill the as many imps as possible. They're not their own wave; they're their own little thing. Whereas the spider and the soldier are their own wave. An important detail as well, that I want to also mention, is the way he's moving through this fight is important not only because of where the enemies are spawning, but also because of the vantage points. The unfortunate thing about this fight is that there's a lot of like bad collision. You're going to notice that he's not standing on some spots that seem good. It's because the collision there is probably bad. And here he's going to do a very dangerous trick that I do not recommend to beginners because it does a lot of damage to you. This is called Corn Warp, and it
But
skips
it's
some
also
movement.
swag.
It is swag. So yeah.
Yeah, this is just basically after you finish the fight, you want to make sure you finish at a particular location, and you need to carry a lot of B-hop speed through that door.
Yeah. There's also
so-
some details with ammo here that we're going to gloss over because they're very specific. Like, when do you want to pick up that shell in the back that he picked up at the beginning? Like, when do you want to pick that one up? Like, generally you want to pick it up at the end, but that's a little challenging. And there's a lot of details. All that means if you don't pick that up, you have to pick up some shells later. But the most important thing is that you pick up the fuel, because we're going to be chainsawing a heavy later. So the Corn Warp is a scary optimization because you can hit 2 death planes at once and still get the trick. And that's why it's very, very scary.
Yeah. If
here
you're a
to
beginner,
here.
just B-hop like Mute just did.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a quick demonstration of the Death Warp planes.
Yeah.
You
So then
can
we just
skip
carry
all
on with
this
the ops.
parkour just by jumping up there.
Yeah.
And
After that,
now-
I recommend you kill this imp in the back here. Not because it'll bother you as you're fighting this tentacle
yeah,
sometimes.
you have to wait for this door to open. That imp has a habit of chasing you and
Yeah.
bonking you on the head.
Also, that tentacle, by the way, is required for that door to open.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that. Yeah. All right, now you're gonna do a trick that I don't know how to do.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
nice.
a punch boost.
Yeah.
Mute, you're a wizard. How do you do that? what are your cues?
Do you roll
I-
macro on this?
No, I just scroll and then I punch like at around. So you're at the apex. The reason why I am at the apex is because if you're not at the apex, you're gonna hit this little ledge. You're not gonna get speed. But if you're at the apex, the punch boost is gonna bring you forward, and you're also not gonna. It's gonna suck you forward. But if you hit the top of punchable walls, you maintain your speed. You don't slow down, and then you carry that speed through the tunnel. Pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Other than that, this next path, you want to make sure to pick up that heavy cannon ammo, B-hop all the way through, and pick up that shotgun ammo.
You wouldn't have to pick up that shotgun ammo if you manage your ammo well in the downtown fight.
That is
But
true.
that's a detail for another day.
That's major optimization here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mute, explain what are you doing as you're doing, and then we can go more detail.
3 soldiers.
He's getting stuck on
Imp,
the boost pad,
soldier,
that's what he's doing.
soldier, soldier. 3 more imps. 1, 2, 3. I can go up. There's 1 more imp left. Hit. Last imp. I can get him maybe. He's dead. Don't have to worry about imps. Glory kill. Second wave spawning. There's probably gonna be 1 imp here. Yep. And I land on a jump pad. That's a mistake. Don't do that. Chainsaw the spider. Shoot 3 stickies. Looks to see where imps are. Come back up. Somehow build a shot, and then kill the rest of them. Maybe pick up that armor, and you're done.
Important detail there. The imps in this fight will all spawn in consistent areas, except the final imps. The final 3 imps will spawn in different areas.
Yep.
Or
They're-
random areas.
There is a bit of a routing difference you can do. That's primarily preference. They're about the same, but you can alternatively, instead of shotgun, instead of chainsaw this Erectron, you can full auto it.
Yeah. It's way harder. I wouldn't worry about it. But yeah, after you kill that spider, you want to kill only 1 imp, by the way. Also, a little tip here: when you're killing this final Kako, shoot 3 stickies, shoot a precision bolt, and then save precision bolt by shooting it with a combat shotgun shot. Because we're kind of low on precision bolt for the rest of the level.
If you are low on precision bolt, right under where that Kako spawns, there is more precision bolt
Yeah.
ammo. It's not that much of a detour to just jump on that little ledge and grab it.
Oh, let me
If
show
you're a
what
beginner,
happens.
just glory kill the meatball. Don't even worry about it. But
Fire chainsaw.
if you're advanced and you wanna, if you're advanced, you want to
I
you
killed
want
2
to,
right now.
save the precision bolt by
They will respawn.
Oh, yeah, that's
be
what happens.
2
So
that
that's why you only
respawns.
want to kill 1 imp right after the spider right after you kill the spider, because more imps will spawn if you kill 2. And then you'll end up having to kill 3 anyway. So.
If you, so alternative, one thing to note on a route change, if you do not chainsaw this Arachnotron, you want to make sure to pick up the shotgun ammo right next to where the Arachnotron spawns, and also right outside the door to where the Arachnotron spawns. I'll point it out when Mute gets to there. But basically, there's the ammo.
Oops.
Basically, just look where Mute totally chainsawed there on purpose and did not miss an Arachnotron. There's 2 shotgun ammo picks up. If you don't chainsaw there, you want to make sure to get both those pickups after you deal with the Arachnotron. Because you don't get chainsaw ammo, so you need to pick up ammo pickups. So the one right to the right of the Arachnotron, you can see in the corner right now. Then right when you exit that doorway, right of the jump pad that Mute just jumped off is the other shotgun ammo. And there's precision bolts right on that little grassy platform where the Cacos spawn.
Yeah. Whether or not that's faster is more complicated. I wouldn't really worry about it. I think it's also safer to just... and then sometimes this happens. Who's infighting? Oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah. Okay. You'll find that a lot of times the imps will infight. We'd love to tell you that you can avoid this, but I don't think anybody knows. So there's an important detail in this fight. Yeah, he's precision bolting everything, but he started by precision bolting the back imp first. And that's actually kind of important because that back imp can start running willy-nilly. So you want to start with that back imp, and then the rest of the fight is just pretty much as it looks like. You want to just PB and sticky, etc., etc. Drive by, kill the spider, nade the spider if you can. There's some minor differences depending on preference there, but I don't think we really need to get into it because we're already running very...
Yeah,
so,
the speed of killing, like, just say, for example, shooting that back imp fast is negligible. It's only, like, improving consistency so that imp doesn't screw us over later. If you just want to shoot fodder in a way that's most comfortable, that works too. Yeah. Also to note, if you're doing that chainsaw routing to where you full auto the Arachnotron in the previous arena, you chainsaw that last Arachnotron.
Yeah. One thing to watch out with that Arachnotron is that when you kill that the trigger for the final 2 imps near the portal is either a physical trigger that you walk over, or it's the death of the Arachnotron. When you chainsaw the Arachnotron, those imps are not going to be where they are for Mute right now. Yeah, they're going to be. They will be far forward. They'll be more
running
towards you.
Well, see where Mute's standing right now? That's basically where they'll be. And you see that. You can continue, Mute. I think we're done. Oh. Okay, we get it one more time. Mute demanded it. But basically that pillar at the end of where Mute was is about where the imps will be. So again, putting everything out, get this chainsaw. One of the main reasons to do the chainsaw on this Arachnotron is because you don't have to chainsaw that imp beforehand, typically.
Yeah. But you do lose a little bit of time because you have to pick up extra ammo in that mall fight, and that's the trade-off. Yeah.
That's negligible if you do it well, but
it is significant enough. But there's a lot of complications as well that we're not really going to get into. At the end of the day, for a beginner, I'd recommend doing what Mute is doing. If you're advanced and hyper edgy, then yeah, go for the chainsaw on the spider.
Advanced strats.
You are edgy, aren't you?
Edgewood.
Oh yeah, you kidding me? I am Sonic the Hedgehog, but red and black. Okay,
you shoot people with a gun. This is just basic movement. You do your lurch hops, you do your bunny hops, you do your ramp hops. We have time for a few donations. Wrong event, sorry. Wrong event, sorry. Carry on. So here he's gonna unfortunately pick up loot magnet.
I mean, if
you want to pick up armor here,
you know what? Sure, armor for blood.
Whoa, Mute is turned over a new leaf.
Well, either one. Either you pick up whether or not you pick up loot magnet or armor for blood. You want to pick up the armor of those things. You don't want to pick up the ammo because we're going to use the ammo crystal later to refill our ammo.
And if you pick up on one of those and get the ammo crystal later, you get an extra ability. So just like, why not? Exultia.
Egg.
I think the first part of Exultia is like pretty self-explanatory. I don't think we need to cover. I guess Mute, you can explain the bounds of the wall that you're grabbing here because it is awful.
Yeah. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
this wall.
So this wall is not very well designed. So that top area, it looks like you can grab it, but you can't.
This
You
area,
actually walk up. Yeah.
you can't grab this.
Yeah. So like,
Al-
if you just grab the wall and just walk up, show them the maximum height you can walk up to that wall.
Alternatively, there is also a strat to skip that climbable wall, but it's not too consistent. I go
don't
for
even-
it for funsies.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
yeah,
this
don't.
one?
It saves 1.5 seconds. I wouldn't even bother.
Well, it's 1.5
gonna
seconds,
get
but
it?
you also get the swag of skipping it. Oh,
Oh.
mute. Okay,
Oh, close
that's
enough.
still faster.
Yes.
Barely.
Y-
but
This is
Yeah,
the
it's
highest you
actually
can go
slower.
up to the wall. Like
If you
as Drake
mantle, it's
said.
automatically slower. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
Damn.
Anyway, yeah, that's so. Yeah, I made this mistake a lot when I first started running the game. I got mad because I was like, "Why isn't it grabbing the wall?" It's because I was aiming too high. So yeah. Anyway, carry on.
Carry on. B-hops over here. Wait, there's a collectible to your left you have to collect first, and then you do this fight.
Quick question, Mute.
Hmm.
Did you ever figure out what the best way to drop into that death point was?
Okay, so... Anyways, I finished that fight, by the way.
Because I remember discussing this with Maddie that you would grab the collectible and then he jumped off to the left. And
So
that was a little faster, but I don't remember.
The thing is, there's this small little... You see this thing right here? It kind of sucks you down. So, like, you can get a fast fall right there like that. So, otherwise, if you just jump down, you can time it perfectly, too, where, you know, you get the maximum momentum, terminal velocity going down. That's fine. But it's hard, and also... You don't get sucked down, as compared to...
I was thinking, is it faster to jump off to the left there?
Oh, jump to the
At
left.
the death point.
Welcome
guess
to
you never know.
MBSR, folks, where we say that
Maybe,
we'll skip the
maybe.
complicated stuff, but we'll spend 30 seconds talking about the best way to fall off a ledge.
I also want to mention that because there is an alternative strat here where instead of grabbing this codex now, you instead grab it at the very end of the fight while waiting for the door to open. But it's hard. While you're waiting for Joseph to
I
come
actually
through.
did not know of that route.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Basically, you start the fight. This fight, you want to kill the gargoyle as soon as possible. As soon as the gargoyle dies, those two imps spawn. And then you want to kill one of the imps. It's very important that you kill one of the imps.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how you do it.
Basically, yeah, it's gargoyle, one of the imps spawning from the window immediately, finish off the soldier and the other imp, and then kill everything. Make sure you stand under that Kako so that you get that death lane.
Should I do that one again?
In later
Alternatively-
patches, you're gonna have to feed that meat
Yeah.
with that Kako. It's
In
it's
later
easier.
patches, the optimal way to do that fight, as Mute just dances around this Hell Knight, is you want to precision bolt kill everything and until the Kako wave starts to spawn with the two gargoyles. Then you save one of the stickies for the gargoyle,
Yeah.
and then
Or
you
the
just
Kako,
glory
you
kill
mean.
or shoot it to death.
Kako, you mean, right?
Yeah, you save it basically one sticky for the Kako, and then you
Grab the wall.
just glory kill or shoot it to death.
So here he's doing some movement. We cover this in the any percent restricted tutorial. I think we should mention this. I think I forgot to mention this. Just because this is 100% restricted doesn't mean that it's that different from any percent restricted or any other restricted category. A lot of the skills translate, very much so, including like the tags. So here he's going to kill the Hell Knights really quickly. Ideally, you would get like a bunch of crits.
Yeah,
But yeah, I know one thing to watch out with that fight though is that those soldiers have a bad habit of eating precision bolt shots and taking no damage.
Yeah. One quick note on that previous fight, as Mute moves on to the next one. If you want to avoid soldiers not dying to the precision bolt, make sure to shoot them in the legs. I find that's consistent. And the Hell Knight, you want to make sure to trigger sticky crits on it, which is basically just flame belch it. Oh, Mute. We just explained the previous encounter, and you completed the next one.
Oh.
There's a lot of details here with this fight, but generally you just want to get into the fight as quickly as possible. Like he's drive-bying these enemies right now at the beginning, but his number one goal is to get into the fight because only the next cackle will start spawning. The second cackle will start spawning once he's like entered the fight proper. So he's just taking pot shots as he's flying in. This meatball that he's actually killing the first one is actually not required. You can actually ignore it, but we're gonna kill it anyway because it's very dangerous. There is some chainsaw routing screwery here. He's electing not to chainsaw the spider. The current fastest way is to chainsaw the spider. Maybe even chainsaw the Hell Knight in the previous fight, but he's electing not to because of preference. And if anything, like a perfect chainsaw route probably saves like a second, maybe two. maybe even 3, but I wouldn't worry about it, especially because the chainsaw that he's gonna do is really nice. It really simplifies the next fight that he's gonna be doing. So.
So yeah,
Here
Here
basically
you can
don't
upgrade
need-
here right after that. Right after that fight, by the way, you can upgrade stickies.
You can
need a-
just walk up these inclines. The way you do that is you press jump. Like, you don't spam jump. Just press it like 3 or 4 times in the span of climbing up, and you should be able to just walk up the wall.
You could.
You
do
can lightly
this.
scroll this as well. It's fine too, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. You can also get some punch boosts. I don't think we'll go into that much detail around blender strategy. They're like every other tutorial will do that.
Yep.
Here, just wall dashes. Again, we're assuming that you're intermediate level, meaning you understand some of this tech. But yeah. Here he's going to make sure to get 2 crit stickies on his head. He missed a little bit, so unfortunately his fight's a little slower. But this is where the chainsaw uncomplicates things, because now he's going to chainsaw the second Hell Knight. Ideally, you wouldn't need to do this, but this Hell Knight can be a bastard. He has a name. His name is Nathaniel. He's a bastard.
Yeah,
I do not like Nathaniel.
A bit if you don't chainsaw there, it's very important to manage crit stickies and your grenade or blood punch or whatever. Use those on the separate Hell Knights if you don't do the chainsaw strat.
Also, this can happen. You can soft lock when practicing this fight. I actually don't know how to avoid the soft lock. I've avoided it, but I don't know how to avoid it.
I think if you just load checkpoint on that fight, sometimes you just don't.
So unfortunately,
basically,
he's not going to be able to do it again. So we're just going to have to.
if you're running
Damn.
Classic or Nightmare, make sure especially not to die in this arena, or else you'll have to reset.
No. Well, I think unfortunately it's a full soft lock now because the gate's not open. Anyway, we're gonna. Yeah, he's gonna. Oh, you didn't have to, but okay.
Oh.
Well, we have the power of no clip and cheat
Yeah.
strike.
Yeah, indeed. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like he doesn't have to go all the way back to the end, to the beginning. Oops.
Oh yeah, we could have just no clipped into the port.
Yeah.
Oh.
Power of cheats, Raitro. Haha, XD. Ha.
Yeah, exactly.
Got him.
Well, I guess mutes. Yeah. Pick up the blood punch. Pick up the blood punch.
Oh.
It's very important you pick up the blood punch. It's very important.
Just
And
let
air
you know if you
control.
don't pick up the blood punch, just as besides the fact, you cannot complete Urdak because you need to
Yeah.
finish the boss by
Yep.
a blood punch.
I guess we could answer some questions if chat has any questions.
Yeah, because this will take a while. Twitch chat.
This will take a little.
This is just, I guess, in general for any of these events that we'll be doing over the next few weekends. Just type a question in chat, and we'll make sure to answer it.
Yeah, he's just gonna cheat now to get through it. I think, is there any safety concerns or in any of these fights? These seem pretty fast.
This fight, First Rotunda, there are safety strats, which is basically just kill the first Kako immediately, and don't spend that time killing the other fodder. But
If you're good enough, you can actually perma stun lock that Kako. I have a fight route I covered in the any percent restricted route. Some people don't do it. There's some complications with it. You have to be like really precise in order for it to be safe. We're not gonna worry about it too much. Ooh, nice punch boost.
yeah,
can get that punch
Piggy
boost.
had a comment saying about my leg shots on soldiers. That was in reference to after you pick up Blood Punch and there's the 1 Hell Knight 3 soldiers encounter.
Do you want to
Some of
fly
those
back to it to
soldiers-
show this off? Mute? Just fly back to Rotundo, or excuse me, the Hell Knight
Just go
fight.
there. We don't have to show like physically what's going on. Oh,
This one?
no clip
Yeah, so
shenanigans.
so this fight, the soldiers in this fight will sometimes eat precision bolt. Raitro
Yep.
says if you shoot their feet, it's a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, if you shoot them waist down, it'll be fine. If you go for the headshot, sometimes they'll just live for miraculous reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, with that further on, we can get into the hell part of Exultia. I mean, all this.
One more
other
thing I'll
stuff.
mention that we probably could have done in the intro, I guess, for next time. In general, there are 2 ways to be safe in Ultra Nightmare. There's take it really slow or be really fast. It's actually deceptive how safe you can be in Ultra Nightmare just by being faster. They can't kill you if like they're dead. If they're you just got to be faster. Oh,
Yeah, typically.
do you have no target on?
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh, yeah, no target
The
on.
most common way you die in Ultra Nightmare is you're going for the fast strat. You make one small mistake, and then it
Yeah.
roller coasters down
Yeah.
to you dying.
But like if you're really fast and you're really smooth, it's comical how much how little damage you'll take. Like
Or the
there are
secret
some times where if you do a fight perfectly, even a fight that's like really scary on the outside, it's comical how often you'll exit the fight taking no damage.
Yeah. That
So
last
cute
fight,
little detail there. He
very
just
quickly.
hit the death plane behind the secret encounter, and that just teleports you back, and that's a cute little optimization.
Yeah.
Take you
Dash
back faster.
twice back and literally just sticky and glory kill. It's that easy.
You can flame belch there for some extra health, and then we just move on to B-hops.
Or you
Yeah,
could
you just B-hop all the way to the portal.
I saved the fire for flame belch for this crit coming up.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, wow,
1,
this
2,
is some mute
3,
routing. Would you
4.
care to explain?
Yes. So you use your large stickies here. Kill this guy. Come around here. Throw a nade. Use this.
Ah,
and,
well, okay.
and it dies.
If you were doing the more optimal route, you would chainsaw that Hell Knight. So he's just not doing it again because that Rotunda 2 Nathaniel Hell Knight is a bastard.
Absolute bastard.
There's also a lot of fight details. There are a lot of like alternate fights, ways to do this fight as well. Kovac has a really baller route for this fight.
So you need this one. You need this. Take it.
Yeah, you need that one. He walked over it. Kovac has a really baller fight route, but a lot of them are just minor optimizations. If you're a beginner, I wouldn't worry about it. Just do what Mute does.
Yeah, that fight is possibly just as easy as Mute did it. There's no like nuance. You just kill fodder, Hell Knight,
Yeah.
and then Kakos, and you're good.
You actually want to grab the wall here, Mute, nowadays. We've actually realized it's faster to grab the wall.
It is actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Because the mantle is slow, but also the time you spend in the air is a little faster. Yeah,
Yep.
it's just a
Oh
smidge
yeah, because you
faster.
get the speed from jumping off the wall. Ah, that makes sense.
So yeah, there's some wall dash. If you get stuck in the goo, you can just hold down macro or scroll a bunch, and it'll eventually pop you out, and you can grab the wall. Grab Heat Blast. It's baller. It's a baller early game weapon. It's kind of a pain in the ass to master, which is why we don't. But it's a great weapon that even if you weren't running this specific category, you'd get it.
Yeah. We need it for yeet blasting, which we will do a lot in the next encounter. So make sure you charge close to 3 ticks on the plasma rifle.
Yeah. Usually the way I count it is that I do like once I get to -8 or like just above 8 before the before the before the 3rd tick, then I stop and then stop charging. So there he's doing a small optimization where he opens the doors and then goes back and grabs the codex. You
Yeah,
can also
very
grab some invisible fuel. You're going to show that fuel off later just because
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I found that routing. I'm actually very proud of it.
Nice.
But basically,
I think the only change since then was that I think this was before the before the hidden fuel was found by Arrhythmia, right? And then we just added the hidden
that
fuel.
was like
That was
nearly the
Recton.
same time actually.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I believe I came up with the idea and you found the wall dashes for it.
Yeah.
So right now I have 2 pips. If I go back up here.
So just
And I
look
go
where
into
Mute's
this corner.
standing. Look at the chainsaw. Look at their chainsaw meter. They get an extra 10.
Bam.
In
There's-
the other chainsaw route that Mute's electing not to do, that you actually are required to grab that
Yeah.
chainsaw.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a new wall bash I haven't seen.
Yeah. Usually you would.
Do you want to
standing
show them
here.
the fib? Do you want to show them the fib?
Oh
Have
yes.
you done the fib?
This one.
There's a fade and boost you can do here as well.
Ah.
Yeah, just delay the dash. There you go. There you go, yeah. And then you can do some fancy movement here. He doesn't get it, but he gets the ramp up, which is good enough.
Yeah, Fade
yeah.
and Boost, it's a bit of a newish tech. You basically just gotta dash as you're respawning back in, and then hold the macro or scroll right at the end.
Yeah.
And
You can also
basically
do it
dribble them
with a single jump as well. Bowser proved that you can do it as well. It's actually not new tech. It's just that we've discovered old tech applies to more things than we thought it did.
If you're down
So
here.
yeah, some of you. Let me answer this question because I think it might be interesting to point out here. If you skip this fight, which you can then come back and do it later. We can do a tech called Spear Skip, which Mute can quickly demonstrate. Basically, you just jump over the fight and you just go around an invisible wall, and then you do this back area first, and then you do the secret encounter, and then you go do the spear fight. If you're mastering stickies, that might be a good idea, but it does cost time to do. I believe, if I remember correctly, our timings was that it cost 3 seconds, or maybe even less, to do to do it that way. So, but it can also uncomplicate some matters. So you can explore it if you want, but for the most part, you should probably just do the first fight. Here he's going to try and do an ERJ. You can also do a ramp jump. You can also do a dash boost there by the vines. You might want to show them that. That's, I think, the most important thing to show them, yeah.
There's like 8 backups here, so just don't sweat it.
yeah.
Even if you don't do it, you could just come here.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
just do casual way, that's still
Yeah.
that's like a second slower app.
The ideal way is that you land the wall dash and then you ramp up all the way up like that. That's
Yeah.
the ideal way. But
Yeah,
otherwise, it's
Yeah, after you just grab that battery from climbing that tree, you just do this. We got actually a question from chat. Could you go back to the mech hand area in the previous? They were talking about this dash boost. We wanted to know specifically about where you line up.
back.
Right
Before the
Yeah.
gates where
Yeah.
you the mech
here,
hand.
right at when you put in the battery.
Oh,
The mech hand, yeah.
So just explain what you're doing.
Oh,
This
this
is
dash
dash
boost,
boost?
yeah.
oh, you just like. So if you aim at any direction, you're gonna start sliding. Just stop sliding. You know, be about in the middle here, in the middle of the rock. You see this little area. You're not too much to the left. You're not too much to the right. If you're on the right, you don't get speed. If you're on the left, well, you bonk.
Yeah.
Just stay
And
in
you
the
want to
middle.
hold backwards right after you dash. It's very important. Otherwise, you're gonna bonk no matter where you stand.
And you see that like little wall construction thing up there. You aim for the ledge just by that.
Yeah. You can also make this go higher. We're not gonna go into details.
Yeah.
But,
if you are playing on 1.1, you can also Zy boost that dash boost spot,
Yep.
and you
you
can just
Zy boost
completely
it in
clear
every
man's
patch, I
lane.
think. I think you can Zy boost it
It's
in every patch.
harder there on more current patches.
Oh, because the physics changes. That right?
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
changed some slight wall physics.
Yeah,
which
this dash
actually-
boost is very easy to do. You don't actually even need a very
Like that.
specific lineup, but
Oh yeah. Mute just did the Zy boost version.
yeah. For the Zy boost, you just scroll. If you use macro, it's very bad.
If you're here, if you end the fight
Anyway.
here, just wall dash off of this. If you end the fight right here, which is what people usually do, you can dash off of this. If you end up here, you know, there's this cool strat Kovac found. You could do that. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Kovac always finds the sexiest way to do something, even if it's not necessarily the fastest.
No,
Yeah.
it's just Kovac maxes the style point meter in this game. Okay, this secret encounter. There's actually a couple ways to do this, depending on your preference.
So a mute usually likes to do it straight up, where he just does it this way. But you can also do it, and then does a wall dash here and carries it all the way to the end. But you can also do you can actually start the fight, break some stuff, and then do a wall dash up here, or a dash boost.
Yeah,
I think it's
it's a
more to your
dash.
left, but people get the idea. There's lineups.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it. But yeah, you get up there and then you clear it out.
Ah.
So after this, this is actually probably one of the most straightforward fights in Exultia actually coming up here. You want to make sure to get the B hop, try to get as far into the purple goo as possible from there. 2 precision bolts, wait for this imp to spawn, kill it, heat blast, Cacto Demon. Then once you sticky that, you sticky these 2 zombies over there, and you're done.
Here, there's a lot more detail as to how to do this in the any % restricted route or tutorial, but Mute's going to demonstrate it here, hopefully. Nice, perfect.
That's
So the
actually a
only-
filter.
Oh, no,
actually,
darn.
Well, if
just
you miss it,
barely failed.
that's no problem.
But-
you can just okay. Please.
You can do something a little different here. You can instead just do an edge boost. I don't recommend it. I recommend just reloading and trying that punch boost again. If you get a lot of height on that punch boost, to cancel that height, just dash again, or just take the time loss.
The general.
So
thing
this is a Zai edge boost. It's kind of precise, but there you go. Mute gets it. And you want to actually pick up the power core because we can't finish the level without the power core. In other categories, you can skip the power core, but in this one, you cannot.
Yeah. One important note to Ultra Weaver, nearly everything Mute here is doing in importance, holding W, where they're punching, where they're looking, all of it is just pay attention. Just try to copy it nearly exactly. Something as precise as looking slightly off, like slightly more down than you're supposed to, it can actually mess up this trick.
I have my own lineup for this that works for me. That's my lineup. It works for me for some reason.
And you do actually need a lot of height with that punch boost, primarily just because you go over an invisible wall that's supposed to despawn.
So in the rest here, I don't think there's much to explain. I guess you could explain something that we never do in any other... Well, we never really do this in any other category, where we dash storage through a cutscene we can skip.
Oh yeah. Oops.
Oopsie.
Oh, well, you do that in the Ancient Gods Part 2.
Oh yeah,
tutorial on that.
excuse me. Yeah, that's right.
So this is what you
So
do.
he's just gonna. Go ahead.
And then you carry with your
It's very
speed.
easy. You just dash into it and skip it. It's,
Yeah, just when you get up from the ledge, walk a couple steps forward, jump and dash, and it's that easy.
Blood punch. Something to mention, we should probably mention, since probably a lot of people are going to play on later patches. These punch boosts are a little bit trickier to evaluate whether or not they save time, because as Mute demonstrated with the with that Weaver punch boost that he did a while ago, sometimes the punch will proc blood punch, but in later patches it will almost always proc your blood punch. So we'll leave it up to players of those patches to figure out whether some punch boosts are worth it. I know it's, some of them might not be worth it. Like if you're doing a punch boost in, for example, do Wonder Base, probably you want to have blood punch for the bosses.
As a concern, as one of those current patch runners, for Ultra Weaver, completely worth it. There's a couple later on that's debatable.
Yeah. So
what
here
you
he just did a
there-
Zai boost. He just dashed up the pillar and scrolled. I don't think we really need to go into too much
what-
detail,
yeah.
but you want to explain the backup?
Yeah, just come here. The rock covers up this pillar. You just dash. It's that easy.
Very important note: do not hold W when lining up with that that dash boost, because if you hold W, as Drake said earlier, you will mantle.
Yes.
So
And
you
this'll
want to make sure
happen.
you move to the side, or you do a chainsaw, because you cannot mantle while doing the chainsaw animation.
You
If
can
this
also
happens-
look down to line this up as well, and hold left and hold right, and tap right as you're to set it up, right? Something like that. There's a lot of ways to do it. Mute casually does it, but in my experience, that
Yeah,
dash boost is
quick thing to
absolutely
know,
horrendous.
some of these dash boosts, especially this one, is also FPS dependent. If you get low FPS, you might have a difficult time with that trick. I found a
Yeah.
consistent way, if you will have low FPS, is to open the weapon wheel slightly before you start dashing. Because time is slowed, you're still getting about similar FPS, you will actually dash boost for a bit more frames, so it kind of evens out.
So, just to mention dash boosts, not all dash boosts, some dash boosts actually benefit from being lower FPS. So don't worry too much about, I need to upgrade my computer to do dash boosts in the video game Doom Eternal. No, you don't. Don't worry about it. Don't.
I
Don't
mean,
do that.
if not, grabbing the key casually takes like 5
Yeah,
seconds.
we should probably
so-
mention that. The key is like really easy to grab casually.
Yeah.
You can also
so-
do a punch boost, but he already killed the spider, so.
Yeah, the punch boost, it's inconsistent. It depends on spider AI, so
Yeah. Okay, now the
Basically, there's some few clips that you can see, but other than that, it's not too important. Most of
and
the
now
time you
the
wanna go for
worst
this.
part of the run until
God.
until your boy discovered how to make it not your boy and Elizabethany discovered how to make it good.
Yeah,
I
on
was there.
current patchers, it is a bit harder, but this is where you get quote unquote what we call Slayer Gate skip, and if you don't, you lose a minute. It's
Yep.
You can
basically-
mitigate the damage if you do it properly, but basically to explain the way this fight works is it starts off with a bunch of fodder, and then after a while, after you've killed enough fodder, heavies starts to spawn. Now these heavies, their location is dictated on where you look. So you're noticing here he's trying to look at at that specific part he's looking at there. So that way the revenants spawn in the 2 out of bounds locations. Oh, you might have accidentally ended the fight early.
we'll see. But yeah,
Darn.
Darn.
You can
You
you,
got
can
one shot.
you can exit. You can go to the fortress and mission select, and then fly back here
or
if you
you
want to
can
do it
just
again.
no clip
Alright.
to there. It's beneath the arena.
Yeah, but it's like a kilometer down. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we have a post on how to get it more consistently. I think like even Mute, you struggle with this skip a little bit, don't you? Like you usually get one heavy. You
Yep.
can get as literally just only one Dread Knight and the rest die out of bounds, and very consistently as well. So. There is a post about it in the Discord, but after that you just want to do some wall dash movement, pretty self-explanatory.
If you want to know what you do on current patch in that gate, it's actually very similar, except for some reason you can get an extra fodder wave spawn.
Interesting.
Yeah, so sometimes you just do everything perfect. You get Dread Knights and Revenants spawn, but just there's more fodder that just keep on spawning. And
Oh, I know why that happens. I actually know why that happens. That's not a current patch thing. That's
not a current patch thing. Okay.
That is not. So now the chain hop. Hopefully, Mute can demonstrate the chain hop is quite challenging. I take it away, Mute. Oh.
Oh, they're letting their actions speak.
Don't get the checkpoint.
Yep. You got the check.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you can just go back because this is basically just move. Did we explain all that movement up until you get to Betrayer, Skip?
I think it's self-explanatory.
It's
you
pretty
just dash boost
self-explanatory.
into that. You can just dash boost into that.
One thing to note: not all those walls there are dashable or wall dashable. Particular lineups, like look where Mute wall dashed and dash boost, because those are in very important spots. You can't just go up to any slope and do that.
The hardest part about wall dashing is figuring out how the walls work, not the actual wall dashing itself. Like if you understand the walls, wall dashes are easy. Right? You just go at 45 degrees or less and you'll get the boost.
Yeah.
But
wall
it's just
there,
understanding the geometry of the wall is the hardest part.
Yeah, and some walls you just can't even wall bash on.
Yeah.
You can fib here.
So there's a variety of ways to do this. Basically what he's trying to do is trying to get a lurch hop off of those chains so that it sends him all the way to the final fight like you saw him get just there. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, basically, it's very important that you just get that B-hop on a chain, and you can skip a lot of it. So doing this wall bash lineup, there's several, actually, wall bashes. You can wall bash all over that line if you want to.
This is probably the hardest trick in the early game I can think of.
You want to jump on the vertical chain. Do not jump on the horizontal. Jump on the vertical chains.
Yeah. Hardest movement trick, I'll say, thus far.
Yeah. Everyone hated this even back when this was in the any percent route. For example, it was a hard trick to do. But yeah, usually you can salvage it like that. But if you bungle it, then well, you fall on the map. You can do this via fib, a fade-in boost, or you can do it with wall dashes.
Can you show the backup for if you miss the chain completely and just don't get a B-hop? Oh, I was gonna say not the fib.
Oh.
Oh, like if you're on the other side, if you completely miss that death lane.
Here's the
Me's just gonna nail it first for a second.
All right, there's so if you land here, you can do another fib. So what
or you can just jump and dash.
You're gonna spawn here, and you can just go on this platform, or as the wise man once discovered,
don't
ERJ here.
Don't even bother with the ERJ. I'm done with that ERJ. I do not want to see it again. The fib will be enough for me.
You could just come here and double dash. Very simple stuff. Or if you fall down, your reactions are fast. You'll be like, oh, I can fib here. Yes, you can. Just like that.
Yep. Okay, and now we're on to the last fight of Exultia, which is probably the most tightly routed fight thus far.
Huh.
Yeah, this fight's okay. This fight's actually. You might have soft locked.
Did you met kerfuffle checkpoints and something bad happened?
Yeah. Something happens. So this fight's I discovered the current routing for this fight, and boy howdy is it complicated. Yep. So oh, he might have soft locked it.
Oh, here. Well, how about Mute? How about you reset mission and no clip all the way over here, and Drake can go on their little rant.
Okay.
Well, okay, so the thing about this fight is that in the any percent tutorial, we don't deal with this. I guess you could go into your new game plus save Mute and then just fly over to this fight and do it.
All right.
So this fight's a little bit annoying. So if you watch the any percent restricted route, then you know that this fight's highly automated. It looks very simple, but it looks very different in Hundo, and that's because when you fly over the chain that we do the chain hop for, you actually spawn more enemies on the island. And these enemies don't count. So in any percent, we skip that chain, so we don't spawn the enemies. But in this category, you can't. So all the enemies are there. So the problem is you can't tell which of the fodder you need to kill. Now, fortunately, the only fodder that confuses you is the soldiers and the imps. All the heavies are the same, and the gargoyles always spawn in the same spot and are in the same. If you want more details, I guess like the way I do the route fight in any percent might not be good, because then the fodder might behave differently, and it's harder to tell. But ideally, what you want to do is you want to kill the spider immediately, kill the Hell Knight, nade where the Hell Knight spawns to kill a gargoyle, kill another gargoyle, take the portal back, and then kill a Kako, and then as soon as the Kako's dead, you then clean up whatever's near, and then you clear the spider, and then you clear up fodder. And if you're super lucky, you should be able to finish this fight by only killing 3 fodder.
There it is.
There it is. But of course, that isn't always the case because there's more extra fodder in this category, unlike in any percent.
You can stand.
And then
in
you
this
just
portal.
want to stand on top of where the portal spawns, and right after the fight ends, and then the portal will spawn on top of you.
Note on current tour patches, you can't do the portal skip, so you'll
Yeah.
just have to watch the cutscene.
You'll have to watch the cutscene, yeah.
Is that all with Ig? Do we have any more things we need to clarify?
How about we go over?
I
the
guess
core
one tip I
questions?
can give for doing this fight, sticking the turrets is actually slow. You actually want to double precision bolt the spiders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, Raitro, what
Just
were you
'cause,
saying?
Minor optimization noted.
Yeah. Unless you're doing the sticky mastery, in which case sticky the turrets.
Raitro, what did you say we want to do again?
Oh, I was just saying it was ready to move on to Fortress.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you do the Slayer? You didn't do the Slayer yet. You don't have points. You don't have points.
Okay.
Huh?
Anyways,
Oh, is
we
this
can
like an
demonstrate
enemy
this
save?
the gate again.
You
No,
can
no,
demonstrate
no,
it
no, no.
again.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because we kind of
Ooh.
just did it once, and this is probably the most complicated fight here.
So I'm going
Jimmy,
to
just explain what you're doing.
turn on no target here and explain in depth. So no target's on. We have to kill 20 something things, 24 I believe. So come in here, you'll find a couple people. These 2 spawns are pretty much consistent. Well, these 3 are pretty much consistent. You'll see them every time. 1, 2, 3. You're gonna spawn some back here, throw a nade, a sticky, check all the spawns off. Then you start PBing stuff. If there are any enemies by here, shoot this barrel, clear them up. There are gonna be spawns back here. They're annoying. Clear them out, and then bam, they start spawning. But this is also dependent on where you look. So if you're like me and you miscounted, then while you're looking over here and oh look, double timer, both of them spawned. Enemies are gonna spawn right there. And
Important detail with this, the condition. So Raitro, you mentioned this. Like sometimes the fodder
Yeah.
will continue spawning. The
Please
reason that
explain to me.
happens, the reason that happens is because it's very important that as soon as the heavies spawn, you actually want to keep targeting the fodder, believe it or not. And that
Yep.
way, once the heavy phase starts and enough fodder have died, they'll stop respawning. So that's why it's very important that you time when you start looking at these 2 spawn locations. One of the spawn locations mute. If you go back to the spawn location to the right there, this one right there is a fail spawn, and then another one to his left is also a fail spawn. You want to make sure that those 2 are primarily in your field of view.
so you
mute
stand
some,
up right about here.
You actually want to stand a little further forward so that it doesn't spawn to your bottom left.
Like this is also a
You want to
spawn.
avoid, yeah, and you want to avoid that, so you want to stand a little further forward. There are a lot more details in this, but generally, ideally, you kill all the stuff. You hear a Revenant spawn out of bounds, and then a Dread Knight should spawn shortly after. And then you hunt fodder as hard as you can, and then all while trying to make sure looking in that direction. And then the fight should end actually pretty soon afterwards, right? Now the time interval between the heavy spawns is quite random. Between the Revenants and themselves is random, but the time interval between the Dread Knights is pretty consistent. So there you go. Now he's targeting fodder, and then he's going to chainsaw the Dread Knight, and then hopefully the fight should end once he finds the final fodder. Unfortunately, a Revenant spawned. But even so, like right now, there's only one more Revenant that spawned. Unfortunately, he didn't get enough fodder and another Revenant spawned. So as you can see, it can get quickly out of control. But as long as he's facing that direction, the fight should still be faster. And it'd also be safer. So unfortunate here. What I'd actually recommend is not to follow the route that you're taking with the fodder mute, is to actually just go right, stay on the right, and then travel back over the bridge slowly. So just go straight, take it a little slower. You basically do this route, what he's doing, but just a little slower. That way your count should be at about when the heavies spawn, right when you reach the spot that he's in right now. Now that being said, that can be a little spooky. So in Ultra Nightmare, it might be more challenging to get the skip just because you're trying to not die. So yeah, And I think that should be the fight.
Yeah, that should. Just wait for that
One
rep
more
to
fodder.
despawn.
Yeah.
And
That's
there
it.
we go.
Yeah.
You come here, do some movement, bam, bam, bam.
And there we go. The end of Exalt 2. You can fast travel now if you want.
Oh, nice.
Fast travel to the end. So tech we actually don't cover in any other route. Fast travel white screening. I guess we'll cover that later when we actually use fast
Yeah,
travel.
when we get to a route that fast travels,
Then
like
yeah,
Cornets,
let's
we'll
finish
talk
the.
about it.
We have to finish this Cultist base, which is the biggest level. So there's a lineup here. I guess we could just point them to the any percent restricted one. There's a lineup there I cover. You can look at the screen. I actually look a little bit more to the right nowadays at the statue. That seems more consistent for me, but yeah. You go to the door, you plug in the battery, you then pick up Ice Bomb, and then
Do
you
a
wall dash
couple
over to
wall
the
dashes.
elevator.
Yeah, just
Wall dash over to the
wall dash
elevator.
locations. The only concern we have is at the doorways. The wall dash collision is actually a bit different than the visual model.
Yeah. This door right here is pretty consistent, but it's the door to the left of the Ice Bomb that's not. We can go into more detail once it actually matters. The wall dashes here at the beginning don't really matter. Here you're kind of waiting for the door anyway.
Yeah.
If you get down there and you're like, why isn't the door opening? Oh my goodness. It's because you have to wait here.
Yeah, gotta stand like about 5 feet back from the door, and then as soon as you get that marker sound being like, oh, you can go to this door, you just go
You're
immediately.
going to actually stand right beside the door and it'll open.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never got that. That's strange.
So with Repeatorium, you generally want what you want to do. There's a few different ways to do this, but I find the most consistent for me is to stand on this middle podium. But the fastest way in terms of luck is to stand about where Mute is standing instead, because you can see a bunch, but also you're close enough to a wall that you can wall dash to the portal, and there's ammo right underneath you that you can pick up to refill.
The basic philosophy behind that fight is the more precision bolt punch cancels you do, the faster you'll go.
Yeah.
As that's just really fast, and you want to charge up Heat Blast to 2 ticks so that you can multi-kill something if an opportunity presents itself.
Yeah.
Gonna go
And you
over
can
another
practice
tip.
this fade in boost, but it's pretty simple. You want to dash towards the end of the animation as late as you can, just so you can clear the stairs.
Drake says it's simple. I barely get this boost.
There's
Yeah,
those...
it's easy because you can hold macro. If you scroll, then you just scroll towards the end of it and then just dash.
Where's the white screen? What?
It's a little different when you do it. It's a little different when you don't get the animation of the white screen, so you have to treat it as if it's a death plane. There you go, yeah.
Yeah, that's the timing.
And then you carry all that momentum there. Mute, could you theoretically say, like, what if you missed that fib? What wall dash movement would you hypothetically do?
Oh, so you missed that. No problem. You're already here. Like, you dash into here. That's fine. Take a wall right here. If not, take a wall right. Take this wall right here. If not, take this wall right here. If not, take this right here.
Or the railings.
Yeah.
Or the
You
railings.
can wall bash off basically everything in the fortress. It's great.
Wall dashing is a gift.
All
And then
right.
you just pick up
Go
then
outside.
you pick up the suit token, and then you just wall dash, do ramp hops. With this little thing with the ramp hops here on these stairs, the inner ring of the stairs is the steepest, and you'll get the ramp up there. If you do it off the outer ring, if you try and get the ramp up off the outer ring, you won't get the ramp up.
Oops.
Trying to demonstrate here is kind of a challenge. But yeah, basically you want to aim for the inner side of the stairs.
Okay, so if I walk and jump on the outside, I won't get a jump. But if I'm on the inside, I'll get a jump. This is how
Yeah,
ramp
exactly.
jumps work.
Yeah.
Anyways, you're done here.
Yeah. And now Cultist base.
And now cultist
Lord have
base.
mercy on my soul.
Oh boy. Oh, cultist. Oh.
So you want to have the plasma rifle out here. This is very important. That
Yeah.
you start the level with the plasma rifle.
Keep it out.
Cultist base is the longest level in the game, in almost every category aside from unrestricted. Haha, XD.
Uh-huh.
You start off by charging. There's a bunch of ways to do this. You can do a wall dash right away, or you can do this, or whatever. There's a bunch of different ways, but this one's perfectly fine. Then we have the bone boosts, which is where you bounce off the bone there.
I want to put this on the record. The name of that strat is Big Milk Strat.
Which
It's
one?
not Bone Boost.
Big milk strat? What?
It was found by James Plays a Moo, God rest his soul. But
As I found it first, he just never told anyone about it.
Oh, okay. Well, then that point it should be called Raitro boosts.
Actually,
I
it was
did
just
side boosts before
actually James theorized it, but he never really. I mean, Zai and James theorized it, but they never really found a practical way to do it. And then Bowser came along and just went trimp off of it, like that. You just
Look at that.
The
That's
important
beautiful.
thing there that we're kind of glossing over is that you're not bouncing, you're not jumping off of that. You're just bouncing off of it.
Yeah,
You jump
you're, like,
before to maintain height, and then all he's doing is just hitting it and jump and hitting and flying into the air.
But instead of going to like that area, you go on top of the skull. There's
If
also
you fail it, you can do an ERJ off the bone as well. There's also a dash boost. Do you remember the dash boost?
yeah,
yeah.
dash boost is you just aim right at the crack and then you just dash.
Or you could do the very old one. This one.
Well, that one's newer than the other dash boost actually by Nice Task. This one.
This one's found by Tass?
Yeah, it is.
I remember Frosty doing this. Holy, I didn't know Tass was an OG.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Frosty found it because he doesn't report anything. He just so if he found it, he didn't tell anybody.
Anyways, just this section is fast. If you fail that, it's no problem. Kill this guy. Do it again.
This
I
fight's
mean,
pretty much exactly the same as it is in any percent. Collateral, sticky as an aid, grab the secret or the thing, and then here you're gonna do a dash boost. Do you know the Zamide lineup for this dash boost?
Yes. You just look at this little building.
There you go. That's a little bit easier, but it's a little slower as well.
But for if you want to look this way, just look slightly right side of the line. You'll get it every time. If you want to look backwards, just look at the building.
Here you want to charge again to full as much as you can. Shoot that guy, and then wall dash. Cool.
And this button. Okay, now we're gonna get quick kills on these mecha zombies with one collat and one sticky headshot. You can yeet blast to kill that Hell Knight. However, you can also freeze bomb and full auto it as well.
Yep.
Cute little tip with that Hell Knight. Right, you can start upgrading right after you do the Yeet Blast. That way, if for example you get a flaccid Yeet Blast that only does like 2 Heat Blasts worth of damage, you can then use Hot Swapper to finish him off a little faster.
The name of this next encounter is using this trap to kill 2 Mancubi and then shooting the one that spawns up top.
This is an auto sculler in current patch that Mancubus that's up there will actually drop down. He'll actually be able to path.
Yeah.
In 1.0, he spawns in a different location. By the way,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this.
Note for current patch, because on current patch when they jump down, it's actually very important that you shoot the arm turrets when the Mancubus lands, so that it gets staggered, so it does not block the path of the Mancubus who will be killed by the trap.
Very important detail I should mention. Do not spend your nade here.
Do not.
Unlike in any percent, we spend our nade because we can. We have no other use for it, but do not spend your nade here. You will need it for this fight. So here you want to charge 2 ticks. I would be safe and charge all 3 because then sometimes these mechas won't die. You want to nade those zombies or soldiers in the back. And then you want to burn your blood punch on the spider.
Anyways, that's the entire arena. It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty darn simple from there. You can do a variety of things, like for instance, I yeet blast and blood punch the spider for an insta kill.
Yeah, there's a variety of ways. I think the fastest is to nade right and then just blood punch the spider, sticky stuff. Here you can do a bunch of beops to keep yourself alive. This is a relatively new thing here. You can do a punch boost.
Yeah, one thing quickly, Mute, if you could go back, because there's actually, how do I put it? When you start out in this arena, this hallway is a run killer for if you're first starting.
Yeah.
The most important way to keep alive here is that when you spawn in, there's a rev on the platform. You want to fire 1 sticky and hit the red somewhere near the head. That will, for one, well, it might stagger the rev, but also it kills the lost souls, which actually deal a sizable portion of your health if they hit you.
And if you want to be safe as well, you can go take the hallway to the left. Yeah, instead of going straight, you can just go to the hallway to the left, hit the door, and then make sure don't be afraid to like just drop stickies, blow up the things, throw ice bomb. That's fine too. Yeah, and then you do the punch boost. That punch boost, it's better to have lower FPS there, otherwise you go really high. But yeah, it takes a little while to set up. RTSS, so you don't really need it. It's just that if you set your FPS to like 100, that should be ideal. Above that, you might have to wait in the air a little longer.
If you
Yeah,
don't like
it's
to do
just
that,
as
that's
simple as
fine.
holding forward and punching while aiming at that soldier. It's
It
it's
is very
honestly
simple.
it's surprising how simple it
Easy,
is.
yeah. You can also just be up and then go there. That's cool too.
Yeah, there's no shame in taking the jump pad, by the way, if something goes awry.
So this is where I disagree with a lot of Hundo runners. I think instead of going after this mank, you should go after the right one. I think it's a little safer, but a lot of runners instead prefer to go after the left one first. The reason I like to go after the right one first is just because you clear more fodder along the way. The fodder, the weird thing about the fodder in this arena is that it will stop infighting after a certain period of time, and by going for it first, it just makes the fight more consistent. In my experience, safer, but some other runners also find that it's not as safe to do it that way. So again, up to preference. But if you want to be more optimal, you want to go for the fodder first.
Yeah, very, like, right there what Mute does is after we send a quick rocket to that mank, we clear, you know, the fodder that we can easily view so that we don't have to search it down.
Yeah.
Does
After that,
clear
just a
condition for
simple
the-
dash boost. The meatball does spawn in 2 different locations.
If you're low on
yeah,
health and you're
keep an eye out
scared,
for them.
get this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can spawn where, actually by both manks.
Yeah.
Well,
Left or right.
yeah, it can spawn.
sorry, center
if
and
you
right.
could look at the arena for a second, Mute, just so we can say. So if you see, could you look at where the manks spawn, just real quick? Where, excuse me, I mean where the cacos spawn.
Oh, one
So yeah, there's
spawns
one that
here.
spawns over there and there.
So like it'll spawn right about where I am at right here. And another one will spawns right about here.
And there's only one, but those are the 2 spawn locations.
One
Yep.
thing to note, if you are doing this fight and you don't know where the caco is, it is stuck behind that rock in between their
Yeah.
2 spawn
This one.
locations. That
It'll be
They
happens
will
right
fly
here.
sometimes.
in there. Yeah.
They go through that collision for some frickin' reason.
Do you Zai that dash boost?
No. No, I just if I yeah, it's a bit hard.
Okay. This dash boost, in my
Oh.
experience, is actually a little tight if you don't Zai boost it, like, especially if you're just beginning when I first start out. But there's a variety of ways to escape this fight. You can take the boost pad,
Oh,
etc., etc.
one small thing about that dash boost I want to note. You can only mantle the collision that's right by the rune pickup. If you try mantling the inner, you can.
Yeah,
You
because
just
the
can't.
Slayer will bonk his head if he did mantle.
Yeah. So make sure you're by the edge.
Yeah.
Or just more on the right side. Like you can be right here and it'll be fine. Just the railing area.
Yeah. Ooh, here comes this arena. Mute, do you want to take it over?
Alright, kill this guy first. Kill him fast because he spawns. This ice spawn will probably kill these 2 if you're lucky. This guy. Make sure he's coming here. Heat blast, kill. There's 1 more left, and you chainsaw. Arena's over. There we go. Easy.
That's actually what you see is what you get there.
Yep.
You can do it slightly differently. In lower difficulties, you can actually use one of the barrels on the second snake, but this way is way safer. So if you're playing UN, you might want to stick with this route because he's not in the any percent one I show. It's not as safe. Like you gotta be more precise to make sure the rockets don't deal huge amounts of damage to you. But yeah, you want to chop the last one because as soon as that last one starts dying, this button will start activating, and this button takes a little while. So this chainsaw is actually completely free. Here's a
Yep.
cute little wall dash, and we pick up lock on burst.
Yeah. One thing.
And we
to
fully
notice-
upgraded here. This is our first upgrade, or sorry, second weapon upgrade.
Yeah, that last arena ends when all the enemies are dead, and for some reason the game considers enemies dead at the beginning of a chainsaw animation, which is different for glory kills.
Blood
Yeah.
Kills is at the end.
Yeah. So that's why you see us not using glory kills nearly as much. Like we only use them in the early game, and after that we don't even use them at all. This fight is again what you see is what you get. Try and keep your distance from your own rockets.
The only thing RNG here is the caco spawn
Yes.
and the AI patterns of the soldiers at the last wave. But yeah,
Stuff here
just
can spawn out of
lock on
bounds.
abuse.
Yeah, sometimes stuff can spawn out of bounds. That's quite nice when it happens, although, yeah.
Yeah, you save heat blast for those 2, maybe 3 soldiers if you're lucky. and then it's just lock on everything till it's dead.
Yeah. And then we're gonna do a dash storage. You wait till the bridge starts making noise, then you double dash, and that should be the timing. And now we have time for donations.
Yes, we do.
Hey, long-time player, first-time watcher. Greetings from Germany.
Long, short time. Yep.
Okay, we're gonna do a trick here, which has the best name ever, which is Moroccan spiced chicken with toasted vegetables.
So the actual name of the trick is called Niet Boost.
Yeah,
don't worry about it. But you actually want a chainsaw here. That's very important. But make sure to pick up those 2 rockets that are on the floor as well.
Yeah.
Very important you pick up those 2 rockets. And then we go into more detail about how this punch boost
important
works.
you pick up. You shouldn't need those rockets actually.
It's actually very important that you do.
I never pick
I
up
don't-
those
I don't need
rockets.
Yeah, you definitely do need them. Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, second pillar, just aim at this guy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you just aim at the
Oops.
second guy. You hold W, you punch, and
Yeah.
you get up to where the you skip that little elevator.
I remember why you need those rockets is because if you do the secret encounter on
There we
top
go.
of pit skip.
You're
it
talking
saves
about
time.
ace strats there. Well, I guess
That's not ace
you can do
strats.
that.
That's a Hondo strat that should be done, my guy. You guys just
Okay.
don't do it. Listen.
Hey, you say we don't do it, but like Deceptix does that, and that's very offensive to them.
Well, Deceptix is cool. You guys aren't. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did a new arc strat. You're telling me I'm not cool?
No, the arc strat, I don't know if it saves time, but this one
Bro.
definitely saves time, fellas. All right, this punch boost is awesome. There's a chance you can hole in one, but it's very hard.
So close.
Very hard to do. Yeah, we can move on. Do you want to do? Let's not even bother showing them the stacked pit fight and the secret encounter. If you're stacking the secret encounter, you want to grab those rockets. It's very important.
Usually you won't have blood punch here. You can get one for free.
Yes, unless you have
This-
armor for blood, in which case you can get it for free earlier.
I have neither.
Yeah. So
Note on current patch, those gates do have collision. Just kill those mechas as soon as possible, as soon as it lets you, because
here people lock on burst this dude. You don't have to. Sometimes the cue balls spawn earlier. I don't actually know why. It's weird. Usually for me the cue balls spawn much earlier than they do for you, Mute. And I don't have to lock on burst the snake. I usually just cue ball it.
What?
So with this fight, I would recommend.
Okay.
what?
That's never happened before?
That was a
Cue balls
delete.
are a interesting specimen.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
After you heard to
might
make
have-
the
this
cycle
is
for
what,
this
out.
one.
is what you get, but we should mention that pit fight is is kind of hard for newer players. You might want to practice it. It's
Yeah.
very annoying.
Very important note: the cue balls only spawn in when both cue balls are dead. So we
Yes.
shoot cue balls very particularly there. Do not try to keep one of them alive, because then you won't get both for a later wave.
Here he starts upgrading.
Faster dasher.
No. Here he starts getting whatchamacallits. Flame belch.
Yeah.
Faster flame belch, and at the same time he upgrades whatchamacallits. Faster dasher. Here he upgrades grappler.
Yeah,
And-
that secret encounter, you see what you get. If you do everything perfectly, you can make the cycle to where you can go into the basement a bit earlier.
Yeah. I
And
wonder
here
if hitting
they're-
the death point here is faster. Anyway, also, what you see here is what you get. You have enough time to get this chainsaw off, which is quite nice.
It's
That
just
sure to
literally-
trigger the
literally a
gate
free
earlier.
chainsaw.
Are you going to show off the ramp up? Oh, I did the ramp up. Or the ramp jump. So you're going to ramp jump and then wall dash. It's a little tricky because the ramp is very small.
This is not easy. I need to get
Because
a.
of God, apparently.
How do you? I tried.
Oh, we don't have to learn it live on stream, but
Yeah.
Kovac is in the chat could tell us that
Anyways,
this
you
is
can get a
actually
wall dash
easy. That
there.
we're being idiots and fools for not knowing how to do it.
There's a
This is
wall
a good
bash
gamer.
that we just performed right there, which actually is kind of a bit precise.
Yeah. This wall dash, I hate this wall dash, and Mute's the only person I know who does it consistently. The wall is very, very finicky. But anyway, yeah.
This
And then
wall
after
sucks.
that, I think it's the rest, like up until like up until the coffin room, it's pretty much exactly the same as any percent, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Almost, except
We're
for
gonna
like.
do Steven.
The rev section. Woo. This
Woo.
is one of the closest things to an auto scroller in this game besides Icon.
Yeah, so
Side
here
note,
you
kill
just
that guy
want to you want to kill the Mancubus as soon as possible, and then here you want to avoid killing all the soldiers. You want to kill all but one of them, because if you kill more, then more will spawn. But believe it or not, right now it's an auto scroll. We're just waiting for the spider to spawn. It spawns. We're gonna rocket barrage it, and then after the spider spawns, you actually can start killing the final soldier.
Both
so
spiders
here
or
you-
the first spider?
First spider.
Okay.
Here he's gonna do a lineup.
Damn.
And, oh, he fails it. Do you want to show it off again? Yeah.
Yeah, that was very messy.
Yeah. Yeah, you can kill the final soldier after the first spider spawns. If you kill all of the soldiers, then 2 more will spawn with the first spider that spawns. And we don't want to avoid that. So there he actually specifically avoids killing that final soldier. It's very important that he does. Otherwise they'll spawn in random locations and then we're in trouble.
Basic philosophy is just kill all the heavies first, and it's practically an auto scroller if you kill all of them just fast enough.
After you kill that first spider, it doesn't really matter which heavy you kill, because you're waiting for these final 2 revs to spawn anyway. There are actually only 2 trigger demons in this entire fight. That first spider and or excuse me, that first mank and the first spider. And then after that, you can just clear it at whatever's convenient.
Yeah.
Have your nade out
You
here.
go back and kill Steven. Unacceptable. Go back, no clip, and kill
No,
Steven.
no, that's extra ammo.
He's our friend. Look,
Yeah.
he's our friend.
Drake.
You guys,
We don't
He's
shoot
a
our
demon
friend.
from presumably the Christian afterlife, the morally bankrupt portion of the Christian.
So is my
Yeah,
mother-in-law, and yet
I
I can't
doth
shoot her.
protest.
All right, how about
Well,
one
not
plasma
with that
bolt,
spirit.
one plasma bolt to the foot, just a little tickle.
Yeah. just
Oh
like-
well, goodbye, Steven. I'm sorry, Steven. I'm sorry.
We will not wait, Bloodshot. We will not wait. He's a demon from the morally bankrupt portion of the Christian afterlife. A cute little detail there. You can flame belch the imp there to make sure that you get a crit. And then after that, this fight is pretty much what it looks like. You want to do it the way he's doing it, and chainsaw at the end there.
Yeah. Fun little optimization. You can chainsaw one of the soldiers, and it's faster. Like
no,
right
it's
after
too
you fire
dangerous.
the rocket.
You self
Oh,
rocket.
Like you
yeah,
fire
yeah,
the
that
rocket
is-
at all 3, and you get the chainsaw as the
That
rocket
is-
in travel time.
That is very spooky, but it is possible. Yes.
It's quite spooky. Get a
It's not
headshot there.
spooky. It's quite consistent because you're invulnerable during the chainsaw.
That is
Well,
true.
before the rocket.
Oh, huh? Oh well, this area. Yeah, that last cue ball is very spooky. And the reason why it's not just faster to chainsaw for that, but you can meat hook off the last fodder and jump up to grab the secret.
Right.
So
the
you-
optimizations here. Look at that.
Yeah, second optimization. It's great.
I like that. So a cute thing when you're practicing this fight, a little tip, there's a command that we have in our setup guide where you can just press a button and it'll autofill heat blast, so you don't have to charge it like that when you're practicing this fight. It is worth it to practice this fight. Mute is making it look easy, but when you first start out, this fight is one of the most challenging for new players to learn.
Yeah.
Because it requires a lot of strange inputs, like you're heat blasting, then pulling out the rocket right after. That's a very rare button combination in this route.
Yep.
It's very rare that you heat blast and then rocket something, or even plasma rifle and then rocket something. Get the Ugers? Yes.
That is the sexy version of it.
Yeah.
So Mute, if people aren't as sexy as you, what do they do?
If you can't do this, and you're somehow stuck here, so you aim at this line, move back a bit, and just dash. That's simple as that. But, however, this is deceptively hard. Sometimes you won't get it even in like 50 tries. This is very...
Dash boost, I hate it so much. I
it's-
cannot tell you how
Yeah.
many hours I spent trying to replace it. Do you want to show them the ramp hop up until
yes.
the spikes?
this
so you can
one,
just do a ramp jump.
You can just jump up. Okay, this is...
A little rusty, are we?
No. It's, not rusty, not rusty.
Mute has not been playing any percent for a while now, have we?
You have bad
So you can do that as well.
This is how you know somebody's a 100% runner.
Yes, you just jump up here.
To
This is also
be fair,
fine.
I'd probably be rusty because I haven't done it in a while either. I've been doing the same strat Mute does. So here with this is kind of finicky. You makes it look easy. You're gonna do a ramp, a wall dash here, and as long as you're bunny hopping off the edge of the coffin thingy, you'll get a bunny hop. You'll maintain your speed. But if you go dead center into it, then you won't maintain your speed. Here, this fight's pretty much what you see is what you get. Nade in the center, lock onto the snake, lock onto the snake, and then you can choose to freeze this guy, but sometimes you don't have to, and then just finish him off with PDSSG.
This is probably the contender for the arena, to where it's way different from casually in the speed run, because casually that arena's like probably really the hardest.
This fight's done a little differently nowadays than any percent, but that's just the reason I wouldn't recommend doing the way any percent does is because of this secret. This secret complicate matters, and I would just recommend doing it the way Mute's doing it.
Yeah, that's very
You
much
can
what you
still
see
do
is
it.
what you get. The only thing I say that's a bit of is the movement up into that encounter where you meat hook off the fodder. That one's a bit precise. You should probably practice that, but it's very
Quick thing to mention, because
Yes,
a lot
very
of people
important.
casually watch this and think and just kind of gloss over the fact like, oh, you dashed doors and flew in. You actually want to slow down a little bit. You saw him slow down there after he got the dash storage, because if you hit that trigger for the door before before the priest starts talking, then you soft lock.
You
And you
cannot
can't
progress.
fix it with reloading.
Like,
You cannot
you're
fix it
just
with
done.
reloading or alt F4ing, because you will still be soft locked after you reload, and you'll have to restart the entire level, costing you 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
950
yeah.
if you're
So
good.
typically the way to prevent that is just to end the cut speed right by, you see where the door switch is, just end it right by there and just double dash to the door, and that gets you about there when the line starts.
Yeah, another way to do it is to take a wide round path to the door rather than directly like going fast as possible. Unfortunate. The way you do this section is the same way any percent would do. You can hook jump, or you can do that fancy hook jump he tried.
Oh,
You can also do a
show
ramp.
Schnitzel.
You can also do a dash boost, but here
I want to show Schnitzel.
you want to do the Schnitzel boost. So yeah, there's a dash boost that he's going to show off here.
What?
Just so that you all have.
You just soft lock?
What is this? What?
I've never seen this before. Just no clip past the door. We don't really need to cover it. It's fine. Yeah.
You can just show off the dash
Schnitzel.
boost.
Yeah. This dash boost is more consistent with lower FPS. This is one of those rare dash boosts where if you're at 120, you can just dash into it. You don't have to set it up.
Yep.
But yeah, then you double dash and dash storage here, carry it over, and then we just go grab the Slayer Gate key here.
And we're coming up on the Slayer Gate, which has actually, it's very optimized.
Yeah, it's very optimized.
It's one of the most fun Slayer Gates, I think, just to play when you got it down.
This Slayer Gate actually has a lot of timers. So I think there's actually only 2 trigger demons. Or 2 sets of triggers. There's actually only 2 waves, or 3 waves. There's the intro wave, then there's the second. So he's going to lock and cancel this first guy, and he's going to kill 4 dudes, and then he's going to chainsaw a 5th one. It doesn't matter which one, ideally soldiers, just because the soldiers don't respawn. He's going to kill the mank here, and then he's going to kill the second mank from the beginning. Killing the second mank there actually makes these Kako demons spawn a little faster. And now the rest of this fight's actually on a timer. You don't actually have to kill these spiders as soon as they spawn. It is nice to, but you don't have to. You can hunt for prowlers. Ideally, you want to make sure you kill as many prowlers as possible, so that you don't have to hunt them down at the end. So when convenient, kill the prowlers when they're close. Then at the very end, I don't think Mute you do this because you don't need to, but I like to chainsaw the very last fodder. But that sometimes it's free because you can refill chainsaw fully, and that refills all your ammo, and it's really nice. So yeah, he's doing a little bit safer here, where he's lock on bursting this second mank that busts out the wall. The more ideal method is to super shotgun it, and then not free, and then or freeze it, and then super shotgun it, and then kill the third mank with super shotgun as well. But that's a little scarier. So instead, what he's going to do is lock onto the second one and super shotgun the third one frozen.
Yeah. So it's basically slob first mank, slob second one, and then ice bomb and SS Squeeze the third one.
See, as you can see, it's quite scary, and he elected safely to.
Yeah, and that was scary and Mute's on I'm Too Young to Die. So imagine
This
how
is
it is
Nightmare.
on UN. Oh, you swapped it to Nightmare?
No, I loaded a save and it was a nightmare.
Wow. Demonstration purposes, people. Mute takes it seriously.
So
Yep.
yeah, you should at the end have zero soldiers alive. Ideally, you targeted the soldiers at the start of the fight, and at the end, if you make sure to clear the rest of the soldiers, the soldiers aren't actually required. You can skip them. Oh yeah, by the way, when you reload here, there's an invisible box.
There's
in
gonna
front
be a
of you.
block here.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you aren't reload because you're doing this on UN, typically the 4 shield soldiers are there. You'll just meat hook off them and go
Yeah.
up this.
I love that you suck at this wall dash. I'm apparently the
I
only one who
can't
can do
do
that
it.
wall dash.
I can't do
I-
You're
it.
jumping
It's
too
so
high.
hard.
You're jumping too high. You're supposed to do it.
I
the
can't
bottom.
do it either, Drake. You're the only one
Yeah.
with the touch.
So yeah, so here, just to iterate, you're going to be left with 3 imps at the end, maybe 2, and you just want to chainsaw the last one if you can, but you don't really necessarily need to. I think you do if you
do
want to make
upgrade
sure
this.
to have fully have rockets. And yeah, at the very end of the fight, after you've gotten the weapon points, you upgrade meat hook. And now we're going to start mastering it. So we've collected a bunch of tokens we're not upgrading, and we're actually going to, the next time we upgrade our tokens is at the very end of Doom Hunter base. So from now on, you can actually just focus on doing the level rather than any upgrade running.
If you want safety upgrades, a good one to get, we'll just get at the end of Doom Hunter base because it saves the menu, is getting the
Yes.
immunity damage, thicker skin to take no barrel
Yeah.
damage.
I don't think there's any barrels.
In the Slayer Gate there is. That's
Ah,
it's
yes, that's right.
really
yeah,
dangerous
yeah,
actually if you set some of those off.
Yeah.
Okay, what Mute's doing here is you kill the 2 revs, get a chainsaw while the Hell Knight's spawning in, and then you destroy, kill the Hell Knight, kill an Arachnotron spawns in, grab the haste power up.
You're gonna
lock
want
on
to
the
pick up
whiplash,
this.
Yeah,
And
you want
these.
to pick that up. It's very important.
and then you basically just lock on everything until it is done, or single rockets, whatever will get you more kills in the single moment.
Once again, there's a lot of timers in this fight. There's actually only 3 waves. There's the first 2 revs, and as soon as you kill them, the second wave starts, but there's a timer. What you're basically going for is you want to make sure to kill the 2 revs, and then kill the Hell Knight, and then the most important thing is that you kill the spider as soon as possible. The spider is the trigger for the next wave. And then after that, all of the enemies are on a timer. The snake spawns instantly, the rev spawns shortly after, and then the spider spawns shortly after, and then you wait a long time for the Mancubus. During this time, even when the Mancubus spawns, I recommend hunting down soldiers primarily. Take a pot shot if you can at the Manc, but don't spend too long, don't obsess too long on the Manc. It's pretty easy to clean up. You want to target soldiers. In total, the entire fight, you have 10 soldiers in total. So if you want to count from the beginning your soldiers, you can do that just to know that when you want to leave the fight.
One thing to note, haste, it refills whenever you kill something, so mechas, they aren't required to finish the fight, but if it's free, might as well just take a shot and get some extra haste charge for consistency.
If there's nothing around, you might as well just take a pot shot at it. You actually don't need to chainsaw that that soldier. Like, it's not necessary, but it's quite nice because then you don't have to pick up as many rockets in this fight.
On current patch, it's actually necessary.
Really? Why is that?
You need the extra rockets in the beginning of Doom Hunter base.
Yeah, but you should have full. You should have full with the ground pickups actually.
The ground? Oh, maybe it's just because I never pick up like the ground.
Yeah, this
Oh,
happens
maybe
a lot.
maybe because you guys aren't chainsawing at the end of Slayer Gate. Maybe that's why.
Maybe.
Yeah, but generally you want to chainsaw at the end of the Slayer Gate, but it is kind of spooky too because sometimes you're like, is this the last imp or no? So
Oh,
yeah.
we're at the last trick of Cultist base.
Yeah, we just do a dash boost here. There's a variety of methods. There's one. If you really want to get nerdy about it, if you happen to be at the very end when the fight's ending, you want to stand where Mute's standing by the door, and then just look at that spot, and then as soon as your HUD disappears, you dash. And that's your timing.
Some people do it like
And
this.
wow, we managed to get through Cultist base rather quickly without spending 4 hours on it.
Wow.
Mother of God.
That is...
Madre de Dios.
Yeah, the only concern is, well, how do I put it? We kind of glossed a bit over movements, but a lot of it is kind of like just imitating exactly what you see. Once you kind of know the basic tech, literally this game is a lot like you just do it and it's that easy. The thing is, the hard part is like conserving all that momentum and making sure you don't bonk.
Yeah. And we recommend, again, watching a lot of different tutorials and a lot of different runners. if I'm gonna take this moment, I assume this is the end. I don't think we're gonna go any
I
further in
think
this.
that, I think this is the end. We'll do the next.
I will do a parting shout out. Watch Bowser, whatever he does. He's a god.
True.
It doesn't matter. He's just like, but he doesn't play 100%. I don't care, nerd. You go watch Bowser.
Bowser does do 100% on the DLCs.
He does do that, dude. He will, yeah, like, yeah. But yeah, okay. But on a more serious note, I recommend watching a bunch of different tutorials. Just because it's any percent, it doesn't mean that you're not going to learn something from it. But yeah, I don't think I have anything to add.
If you're
Do we wanna finish
curious, for the tutorials, just piggybacking off Drake, the MDSR YouTube account, which you're probably watching this on, has a playlist to where all the community tutorials are located. So just visit that and look through all the levels and see what you might be appropriate. Got everything from DLCs to base game runs.
All right. Oh, okay. Bungle it. So for those of you wondering, he's going into warp speed there, and I'm going to explain it. No, I'm not. I'm not going to explain it. XZ. Don't. Not even going to explain it.
Okay, but yeah, we shall pick this up probably next time on Doom Hunter base, and we'll probably be doing the next few levels. There's a lot to talk about Doom Hunter base onwards, because then you get into the mid game where you have a lot of your kit, and you get some of the hardest levels for 100%.
Yeah, and that's where a mastery routing starts to come into play, where we're going to talk a lot about like how to do a fight to maximize mastery routing.
Yeah, which there's a lot of nuance and depth. A lot of these early levels are just, you can't master things, or you can, and we just elect not to, and you go through it as fast as possible, regardless.
All right, I don't have anything to add. Mute, do you want to add anything?
No, thanks for having me. I bungled a lot of things. I'm glossing over a lot of things, but this is a Hundo tutorial. Hundo's very long. It's very tiring. If you want more in-depth like explanations and stuff, just ask the runners. Go in the Discord, be like, hey, how does this work?
Link in the description to the Doom Eternal Discord. Just join that, go to #DE support, and then just ask like, hey, I don't get this trick. What's going on there? Somebody will always probably help you.
What is an EJers?
EJers?
What is a fib?
Okay, because we said ERJ, it's an edge ramp jump, okay?
Yes, yeah. Mr. Strumber, what is a slop boost?
Mr. Strumber.
All right. So, thank you everybody for stopping by the Twitch stream. We shall give a community member a raid, so stick around for that. Does anyone know who is? Oh, Paisano is live.
Paisano is live.
He's live?
Madre de Dios.
You didn't tell me.
We are gonna give the real Paisano a raid, who is an
All right.
unrestricted runner, who is running any percent.
Now, for those of you who are like, oh, but he's an unrestricted, why would I be interested in that? Well, he's going to. I've heard in the grapevine that he's going to come back to any percent restricted, and he's also going to run 100% unrestricted UN, which is a little different, but also
Which
just
is
as cool.
all the difficult combat, but allowing slow
boosting.
boosts and whatnot. Which I'm gonna be super interested in what the route looks like.
It's actually not as different as you think it is, but it's still interesting nonetheless.
Well,
Anyway, you can outro the show now. I will stop talking.
Weren't we while we were doing the whole outro the past 10 years?
Well, yeah, you can say like
yeah.
goodbye finally. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Catch you all later. Again, we'll probably be, I don't know, in the next week or two, we'll probably be doing another one of these. So see you then.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.